Welcome to Yeshiva Daf Shir Sponsor Leinish Pasam Dak Shalom Lab Asitzchok. We're holding Metzia Daf Kuv Dalet. We're starting the Mishnah of Kuv Gimel and base in the bottom. So the Mishnah. Hamikabel Soda Mechaveiroi. Vehi Beis Hashlochim Beis Eilim. Someone accepts it himself. I mean, he's either a sharecropper or a choyke, which is a type of a rental, and he says he accepts the field, and his mindset is that field. He takes a field which is a Beis Hashlochim, which means requires irrigation, and it has usually a river that flows water into the field. Or Beis Eilim, it's a field that has a tree in it. Yom Shamayon v'niktas Eilim. If the river, the flow of water, the spring of water dried, and the tree was cut off, so the owner doesn't tells the tenant, you have to pay me the full amount. The fact that you don't have these things, well, that was not we never said it's part of the deal. Even though usually when we take Beis Hashlochim, it has a river, and when you take Beis Eilim, it has a tree, we didn't specify that. If you said clearly, so I want this, so the Beis Hashlochim, he says, Beis Hashlochim, see in the Gemara, these words were not necessarily, he said Beis Hashlochim to emphasize, I want it to be Beis Hashlochim. I want it to be an irrigation field that has the irrigation system. Or he saw the Beis Eilim there, he said, I want this tree, the field this has a tree. If you have a Shamayim, if the river dried, or the tree was cut off, then he has to pay less, he doesn't have to pay the full amount of the rent. So what's the case? You know the Yovish or Rabo, we talk about the main river of the city dried out. There's no water. There's no water coming to the city. Why doesn't he have to take it out? Namely, Makas Medini. It's Makas Medini. Makas Medini means when the whole world is harmed. And we're going to learn later, in that Kufei, that Makas Medina, you don't take away from the rent because it's basically everybody's suffering equally. No, we talk about the small river, the small flow of water going to this specific field. This specific field has a problem with its piping. The Homer Lay tells him in the Kudal Mudalif, meaning the owner tells the choker, it's your problem. You took it. You have a problem in the system. The landlord is not responsible for that. You go and start drawing the water with buckets. Says the first two mishnayos that we learned in this parak, referring to both sharecropper or choker. Choker, which is really a rental, meaning someone takes a field, he gives a fixed amount to the owner, regardless of what the field grows. It's not a portion he's giving the owner; he's giving a fixed amount. The next following mishnayos. So the first two mishnayos we can explain them in both. He's talking about what do you do? Do you plow? Do you uproot? Do you plow afterwards? I mean, do you do a harvest? We learn right now. He says I want a certain type of field. That applies to both sharecropper or rental. But the following mishnayos, each one will speak about only one of these cases. And as Rashi puts out right away, I will explain to you which case applies to which mishnah. Says I want specifically this field. Why do they say, yeah, it's called Beis Hashlochim, that's its name. The Valley of the Death. It has a name. It's a nickname. I mean, it used to be, that was the name of the place. It doesn't mean they actually have to give you a functioning Beis Hashlochim. We saw in the Bryce of Bobaso, we saw that all the places. He sends him a base core. Even though there's no base core, there's only letech, which is a half a core, because it's called base core. It's got the name of the place. Food base core. It needs to have the name base core. Or sell you a vineyard. There's no grapes. Give him the name. It's called it's called the vineyard. Selling your orchard. There's no pomegranates. Selling only the name. I'm just giving you a name. So also here, why do you say Beis Hashlochim? Because that's the name of the place. Depends who's told who. If the landlord said, I'm giving it to you, you're right. I'm giving you a beis shlochim. It's called beis shlochim. But if the tenant, the one who's renting, said it, he says, I want beis shlochim, that's what I want. Both cases we talk about that the landlord is the one who's saying it. We talk about that Mishnah said, he told him beis shlochim zeh, meaning he's right here inside. That's what we kind of ask. Beis shlochim lamali. Why have to say beis shlochim? Of course, talk about this field. I want this field. Why have to say I want this beis shlochim? Right? The way it is right now, beis shlochim, the way it is, which means it has an irrigation system, or if you talk about a tree, it has a tree in it. So the Mishnah. Someone is responsible, he became a sharecropper on a field. And he did not take care of the field. So how much this field is supposed to grow? For no still has to give him. He said, because that's what he made up. He made up that if I will not work the field, make it hefker, I'll pay you the best. Now, Saz Brashi points out, this Mishnah is working only in sharecropper. If it's a choker is a rental. Who cares if he makes the field, if he works the field, does not work the field, in terms of what he has to pay the owner. He has to pay the owner regardless. Only by a sharecropper, you say I have to give you Metzia Shlishi Ravia, 50%, a third, a quarter. Here I have nothing to give you. If it's your fault, you have to pay. Rameir, Dash, the word is not going to bring a list of Mandomim. What does it mean to be Dash Loshen Hedjot? Means the way people talk, the way people, the usage that people use with words, you use these words to come and determine based on halach. This is the Lashonis people use. If I'm gonna desert the field and I won't work it, I'll pay you the best. So you dash it, you have to pay it. Person brings a korban on his wife, even though the wife has nothing. She doesn't own anything. If he owns the husband. The husband who's rich has to pay for the wife as if she was rich. There are korbanos that only a rich person brings and not a poor person. As Rashi points out, like a korban Metzia. So there, the Isha brings the husband is responsible to give the Isha a korban based on his net worth. The Chai Kol Korban Shechem is to give every korban that she's obligated. Shekach Kosev Lo Achrayus the Isloch Alai Min Kadmodino. The responsible that I have from before. So Tosfos learns the way we have the Gemara argue. So, and what the Gemara is saying is he's chayav to give korbanos even before she got married, even the korbanos she's obligated before she got married, because that's part of the lashon. Min Kadmodino from before. It's very simple. So even though maybe he should be responsible only for things that she has after marriage, the lashon is Kadmodino. Rashi learns differently. Rashi learns. He has a different girsa. He has the girsa. The figure in Patra, if he divorced her, he's not responsible anymore. Shekeni Kosev is she writes to him, not he writes to her. So Rashi will talk about after he divorces her. So then he's Patra to give her the korbanos, because she writes in the Shayvar that whatever you gave me until now, you took care of it. So in other words, until today, you're responsible not anymore. So that's you Loshen Hedjot, not responsible anymore. So that's the Bachuz Rashi says how in exactly to understand the Gemara. Hila Zokin Adosh Loshen Hedjot. So Hila Zokin Dash Loshen Hedjot. Tanya, actually, Alexandria Yimikachim Nishosem. Alexandria, there was a terrible story. They used to do kiddushin. When they came to Chuppah, so people will come and kidnap the woman and marry them. So they came and do, so the kids are bouncing because she was very mikudeshes. I want to see the ksuva. Look at the ksuva. It says there, the lashon they used was when you come into chuppah, you'll become my wife. Meaning, you use the lashon. They said only when it's like a tnai. Only if you go into chuppah, you'll become my wife. If not, the kedusha is not kedusha. So the further kedusha is not kedusha, you do now mazeh. Again, using lashon of hedjot. Rabbi Yudah ben Korcha, Yadur Loshen Hedjot, he also dash Loshen Hedjot. Tanya, Rabbi Yudah Korcha Yimer Malveh Es Chaveiroi Someone who lends his friend, you should not take a mashka collateral more than the chayv. Shekach koitziv, because the lashon you write in the shtar, tashlumaso di isloch alai kol kabel dechi. So what do you do? What is the Russian? If the lender gives back the collateral to the borrower, he says this will be responsible for my loan. If you do a shumon, you say Rashi says you to me mashkrin zeh. In other words, this mashkrin becomes almost like he's almost as if he's lending it. Now it belongs to the owner. He says, I give it back to you, but you're responsible to pay me whatever this is worth. So therefore, don't take more than what it's worth, because then he's taking more than the obligation of the chayv. Time because not because you wrote that. Right? So in other words, first you use the lashon hedron. The lashon is, I'm giving you the value of the mashkot, so you see that the mashkot use the lashon hedron to determine what he deserves. Now, Mashri, if you wrote that, but if you didn't now write that, he's not going to. Rashi says, why have to write it? In other words, we skipped a second. The Gemara asks, Taimo, because just because of this lashon, I have the mashkos collateral, even when I give it back to you. Rabbi Yochanan said that if I give the mashkos back, it's not considered to be the moment of the Yisraelim, of the orphans. Usually you can't take metalta and Yisraelim. Here it's considered to be, it still belongs to the owner, to the lender. So you see, I don't have to have the lashon. So why do I need? That's why she says, we do it that way. You don't need the lashon. Says the Gemara, and that kudal base, ani ksivo legiroin. The ksiva helps legiroin. What's legiroin? Says Rashi. Ashtar moil lefchois damov. Im ifchetu to be a mashkri yishrash bo loyvi yifra mishal nechosov kechol hakosav ashtar. Yeah, the collateral belongs to the lender, but when it says over here, the shul means you're responsible for this collateral. It's $100. If the collateral becomes only 80, he owes another 20. Rabbi Yisrael does lo shedjit. Tafa of kudal on base. Rabbi Yisrael is dashing lo shedjit as well. Tanya says in the Brayz of Yisrael, if they turn the ksuvo to be a loan, so then goive milve. So it can be goive milve from what? The son-in-law goes to the father-in-law and says, the ksuva includes all what the woman brings from her house, and it says over there that this becomes alava. So the thing is that all the lashon that we say dein nedunya de hanas binoshel bebaylo, so it becomes like a law. And of course, don't can be because achrayus that the shver needs to get the son. So the father, the husband is going to be bas, whatever, and doesn't give him a loan, because that's a loan. If it's a likfoil, if you write an ksuva always double what usually is the value, go even Metzia. Now Avloi govu tilto, and now Avloi they're going a third, because that's what that was their measurement. Meremer used the exact amount, including any shvach, even more than what it's worth. Once we just learned, if they doubled the ksuva, so you go even half. Look, Asha, the kanimina, if they did a kinyan, so he takes the full thing. They didn't do a kinyan, so that. Ravina Mashu, the cost of the Barti. So Ravina went and wrote to his daughter more than the value. So let's do a kinyan. In other words, if you do kinyan, you deserve the whole thing. I want to write in the ksuva much more. I want to write, I'm giving my daughter $12 million, even though he's giving him only much less than that. So if you do a kinyan, you have to write the exact value. If not, the kinyan can do more, because then it's not serious over here. Now, the lashon, the main thing is that the first point, lashon hedron, is called out, makes it out of all, just because they agree to that. How something going now? Who gav redomu havli arbo mezuzei libarti? Biksuvaso. So one said, give 400 zuz to my daughter in a ksuva. Meaning he agreed to give 400 zuz to his daughter. Sholach Ravaka Breder Avai L'Kamid Avashi. So yeah, Ravaka asked, does he say give 400? Because we're going to write in the ksuva 800. Or Arbal Me'ozuz Dino Matan. Or he says 400, meaning write 400, I'll give you 200. Well, let's see. Yom Ravu le arbo mezuzah di'inu tamni meo. Sorry. Yom Ravu le arbo mezuzah. If he said give her 400, di'inu tamni meo. That means 800 because he says give 400. Yom Ksoyu le arbo mezuzah says write 400, di'inu matan. It means only 200. Ikidam Yisrael Sel Mavashi Chazino. We see. Yom Leksuvo. This is for the Ksuvo. Abba Me'azuz di'inu tamni meo. Give the 400 for the Ksuvo. For the Ksuva means this will be for the Ksuva, and then the Ksuva will be more. If Yomar Bek Ksuva, so I mean that will be for the Ksuva. It means to say write 400 in the Ksuva, I'll give 200. That's not true. If you write, you refer to Ksuva, it means write 400, I'll give you only 200. At the home until he says Havu lo stom. Until he says just give it to without mentioning ksuva, then he means to actually go 400, as we said before. Good. Zok the Gemara. How gabe the kabel arul mechaver. This person accepted a field from his friend. Omar imo varnolo yavinu loch alf hezuz. He says, if I'm not going to work it, I'm going to desert it. I'll give you 1,000, which is much more than the worth, or worth of the grain. Or if you tilt a third of it did not work. I mean, I dino the yardlate tlat mil vetlati mitlosa vitilto. Give him 333 and a third. Give a third of the 1,000 that you committed. Rabbi Alma asmachti v'asmachto lekanyo. No, it's asmachto. He didn't really mean it. It's not a real. That's something that really shemich daitoi. Here we reference to what we learned in Gittin in Tav Chofei. There's big toises. Rashi toises. What's the difference between asmachta and every night? Every night, say. Here, I'm going to give you Kiddushin if you give me $200. Or I'll give you this if you do for me this malach. Why is that asmachta? So Rashi there says that if it's biyodoi, v'daitoi, two things. Biyodoi, he's able to do it himself. And that's his mindset, I want to do it. So then that's asmachta. But if it's not biyod, it's not in his hands, and it's not in his, and it's not, and it doesn't really mean it, that's asmachta. And then Toys goes on to say a few other differences. So but there's a big discussion over here. There's a regular Tanai and a Smach. So over the Rav, what about our Mishnah? If I'm going to desert it and not work, I'll pay the full amount. Also, here it's not exaggeration. Here, like according to Rashi, he wants to work the field. So if I'm not going to work, I'll give you whatever I can do. But here he's exaggerating. It shows he's not really serious. He's giving more than what it is. That's considered to be a good one. That's a smart. He accepted himself to plant sesame. Now, as Rashi points out, sesame ruins the field more than wheat. But the value of what grows is much more than the wheat. He went and planted wheat. He was lucky. And the value of the wheat increased. And was worth like the sesame. Okay, good. So let's cut off the whatever the land did not get ruined. In other words, let's say the shushimi would make $1,000, but it cost $200. It'll ruin $200 of the field. He put wheat, which only ruins $100, and also made $1,000. He says, okay, I'm not going to give you the full half of the $900. I'll give you $800. Because $100 was supposed to be koichish if I would do shusher. So no, I prefer the field to get ruined and not for the owner to get ruined. Meaning, I would prefer you to plant sesame. So, right, as Lashon Rashi says, so now we give you less, right? The Havamina was not as Rashi, the previous Rashi. Don't take the wheat as the much of it takes sesame. Because he said the karka will get ruined, so let's take it away. So I prefer the karka to get ruined. I need my money. In other words, the push-up side is like, I need cash flow. I need that right now. If I had sesame, I would have now $1,000. How my field will be worth less, and next year I can't root it. I'll worry about the field later. Right now, I need the cash flow. I need the money right now. Give me whatever it's worth of a certain wheat. Person accepted himself to plant sesame. He planted wheat. Now the wheat is worth more than sesame. So he says, okay, I'm gonna give you the in-between shvach, give it back to the sharecropper. It was his luck. Because you're not supposed to get so much. Says 1 second. It's not only you. Yeah, you were lucky, but also you used my land. My land made it worth more. So we should split the shvach because you got it more, but also my land was participating in it, and therefore we both should divide it. And that's not going to be only you; it will be for me as well. Okay, we'll stop over here because here the Gemara goes into Isko, which we'll go into a little bit more into the next one as well. So we'll leave for the next daf.